Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life, just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And today is Soulful Sundays, so welcome to Soulful Sundays. And on these days, I try to, talk about something that I have learned in my life that we can carry into the week going forward. Sundays are my favorite day of the week. I just love to relax and be with my husband. And it's a day for me to reflect. It's a day for me to kind of get started for the week. I don't know, I love Sundays so much. And I will say I typically don't work on Mondays. So Sundays are kind of still, going into the weekend for me. But there's something very still and peaceful about Sundays. And I always love to, sit down and read my meditation books and read something that's like, helping me be more self-aware. And today I was thinking about this episode of Oprah that I saw years and years and years ago that was so profound to me. And it was where she had Toni Morrison on her show. And the reason that I was watching the show to begin with was because they were reviewing Toni Morrison's book, The Bluest Eye, which I had taken a class in college on all Toni Morrison. We read all of her books. And so she's one of my favorite authors of life. But when they were having the discussion on there, they went way outside of talking about the book. And at one point she was talking about raising her children and, how she raised her children and things like that. And Toni Morrison, who just to sit there and listen to is very much like Maya Angelou, she's just, it's just everything that she says is just absolute, nectar of the world of wisdom, And so she's sitting there and she's talking and she said, when your child walks in a room, when they're small, does your face light up? And she said, children are looking for even the smallest amount of recognition. That when you walk in a room, are you looking at their hair? Are you saying, oh, don't wear your hair that way? Or, pull your pants up? Or does your face light up? Because that's what children want to see. Children want to see a parent's face or an aunt's face or a grandparent's face light up, or a teacher's face, that they're happy to see you, that it's not just about the hair, the pants, all of it, that they're happy to see you. And Oprah responds to that and she says, and that is how we learn our value, not by what somebody says to us, not by somebody saying to us, I love you, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, whatever, you're smart, you're caring, you're good, but by how they treat you, by how they look at you. And it's almost that action speaks louder than words and all of that. And we learn that from a very small age. And I can remember seeing that at that time, And I would leave the house, and I was very blessed because I had parents that, their eyes did light up when they saw me. And I mean, there were a few incidences that their faces didn't light up, if you guys know my history. But, by and large, especially when I was younger, their eyes did light up, and they were always, my parents were just so affectionate and so positive with me. But, I would go from leaving the house in the morning, with my mom, oh, have a great day, it's going to be a good day, to going to school, where when people looked at me, and I'm talking about first grade, second grade, fourth grade, I'm not talking about a senior in high school, I'm talking about as a young child. When people looked at me, they looked at me like I was a piece of trash. They looked at me like I was this disgusting thing that they didn't want anything to do with. And that was a part of the bullying that I received, being a gay kid that I didn't even realize I was at the time, but they wanted to put me into that category. And so, it's like the line from Pretty Woman that I talk about in a lot of my videos because I love it so much. When he says to her, you're beautiful, and she says, the bad stuff is easier to believe. When somebody tells you something long enough about yourself, you start to believe it. And we learn our value from other people, not from within ourselves. And I just said on my main channel video today, I said, back in the day when I worked in treatment, we would, at the end of every stay, every patient would get this coin, and we would sit in a circle, and then we would pass the coin, and each person would say something positive when they left. And the coin said on the back of it, you must first be of value to yourself before you can be of value to somebody else. And, I think it's such an important thing to remember, but learning to be of value to yourself is really, really hard sometimes when we look for value and validation from other people and what do they think about us. And a lot of times that is all in a look. It's all in how, when somebody walks in a room, are you listening? One of the things I used to say to my mom a lot as she would work in the kitchen, when I was growing up, and she'd be washing dishes or making dinner, and and I'd be telling her a story, and I'd say, you're not even listening to me. And she'd say, I hear everything you're saying, I can repeat everything back to you. And she would say, and I would say, yeah, you're hearing it, but you're not listening. There's a difference between active listening. You know, when you look at somebody and you look in their eyes. And I think that is really important when we're interacting with people. Do your eyes light up? You know, are you engaged in them when they're talking to you? You know, or do you just act like they don't mean anything to you? Because I think that true value comes from not only what we say to people, not only what we write in birthday cards or thank you notes, not only in gifts that we give, but really in our facial expressions and how we treat somebody. So the next time you interact with somebody, ask yourself, when you see them, do your eyes light up? Because that is truly how we define our value. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.